Good afternoon. Oh, sorry. I'm so loud today, I apologize. My name's Lynn Seyfried, and I'm president of Castle and Cooke, North Carolina, and the North Carolina Research Campus. And I'd just like to welcome everyone here this afternoon, and thank you for joining us for what we think is a really exciting day and an exciting announcement in the future of the North Carolina Research Campus and for the David H. Murdock Research Institute. Well, I have so many celebrities here beside of me that I don't know which way to start, but I think I'll start here with my boss, which is probably the most important thing for me. So I think all of you know David Murdock, who is here today with a special announcement, and you'll be hearing a little bit more from him later. And beside of Mr. Murdock is Tom Ross, who's president of the UNC system. You want to stand so people can acknowledge you? Next is Dr. Rob Califf, who is the CEO of the David H. Murdock Research Institute and has many titles at Duke University, including the Vice Chancellor for Clinical Research. And then we have Dr. Steve Lommel, who is the interim president of the David H. Murdock Research Institute and also a faculty member at NC State University. And beside Dr. Lommel is Dr. Victor Zhao, who is the Chancellor for Health Affairs at Duke University and was one of the charter board members for the David H. Murdock Research Institute. We also have other of the directors here of the David H. Murdock Research Institute with us today, including Dr. Terry Magnuson from UNC Chapel Hill and Dr. Mary Klopman from Duke University School of Medicine. There are a couple members of the DHMRI board who could not be with us today, including Dr. Jeff Ginsburg from Duke University, and we're sorry he could not be here. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank Dr. Steve Leith. I'm hoping that he's watching this remotely from Iowa State University, who was one of the founding partners and members and very instrumental in the development of the North Carolina Research Campus. I'd also like to acknowledge the fact that today we have many people here who work on the North Carolina Research Campus with our partner institutions, Duke University, the 7 UNC institutions who are on our campus, Dole, Monsanto, and the DHMRI. So I'd actually like for all of you who work on the NCRC today, if you could stand and let us acknowledge you and thank you for your hard work. And I'd also like to recognize Dr. Carol Spalding, who is here from the Rowan Cabarrus Community College, the president of that institution. I think I might have seen Tony Almeida, Tony with the governor's office, who's the chief policy advisor to Governor McCrory, and Dr. Chris Brown, who is the vice president for research for the UNC system. And I did not see Jeff Davies, but I thought he was going to be here, so if I'm missing you, Jeff, I apologize. And I want to mention our friends in agriculture, Debbie Hamrick, who I think, if she's not here yet, will be here with the North Carolina Farm Bureau. So I am not going to spend a lot of time talking today because I really want you to hear from all these gentlemen who are on the center stage. But Mr. Murdock, there are members of your board here with you today, but there is someone who wanted to make this announcement today who couldn't be here with you. And so I'm going to announce this video, and there's someone thousands of miles away who's going to be making a very special comment and remark to you, as well as the announcement of the special event that we have occurring today.
Good afternoon, everyone. David, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there on this important day, but unfortunately I'm stuck here in California working hard in the lab to make you proud. I wanted to thank you for this incredible adventure that you've taken many of us on over the last few years. And one of the most important things I learned on that adventure was the notion that in order to change the world you need knowledge, because knowledge is the only true power. One of the other things you taught me during this great adventure was to be generous with my time, energy, and efforts. And once again, you've led by example. So David, I know that you would never brag on yourself, so it's fallen on me to do so. Today, I'm pleased to announce that through Mr. Murdoch's generosity, he has pledged another $50 million for the ongoing functional support of the DHMRI. On behalf of all the scientists with whom you've... Good afternoon, everyone. David, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there on this important day, but unfortunately I'm stuck here in California working hard in the lab to make you proud. I wanted to thank...
And that, of course, was the remaining board member who I did not introduce of the DHMRI. That was Dr. Andrew Conrad, who's with Google and has been Chief Scientific Advisor for Mr. Murdoch through this journey. It's my pleasure now to invite Dr. Victor Zhao to the podium.
Well, what a great occasion and what a great announcement. David or Mr. Murdoch, President Ross, Dr. Califf and Dr. Lomo, and Ms. Seyffert. It's a great occasion for me to welcome all of you, UNC members, DHMRI members, and of course Duke members, to Duke campus. We celebrate a very special occasion today, what I would call a momentous occasion, because we are sealing that potential that we've always seen in DHMRI and Kannapolis by bringing into very crisp focus the future of this great initiative that Mr. Murdoch started. You know, David is a global citizen, and he has companies and homes across the world. So we feel very fortunate, David, that you single out North Carolina as the place that you will place your bet on realizing your vision of collaborative research between Duke, UNC, NC State, and industry in advancing nutrition, diagnostic therapeutics, and human health. So we thank you very much indeed. At Duke, through Mr. Murdoch's unyielding support of the Murdoch study, Rob Califf and DTMI have already enlisted over 9,000 subjects of the Kannapolis community. This population, together with 300,000 samples, they have contributed to scientific research. I believe is an extraordinary opportunity to learn about human health and human disease. Because David asked me now, where's the real big bang? And Rob, you have a lot of work to do with all that data sitting there, but I truly believe that this is transformational. At UNC and NC State, the significant progress has been made in nutrition research and agriculture research over the leadership of Giselle and many other leaders that have been involved with this area, and it's been very impressive. So with this stabilizing effect and strength of the operating capital that you're providing, surrounded by the campuses of the great North Carolina University system, how can we fail? We must not. In fact, it's our job to navigate the future with a new excitement and a sense of urgency. Duke and UNC system may be arch rivals on basketball court, but we play well together, in fact, under your leadership, DHMRI. And I think that what we're looking at is innovation, in which both our institutions boast about, and together you can imagine the kind of things we can accomplish. So today, with the knowledge that we're stronger and better as a team, and then separate entities, we rededicate ourselves to applying the scientific tools of DHMRI and the rigor of population science to reveal the secrets that are still held in human biologic samples that we talked about earlier. To the degree that we'll succeed, we'll benefit individually, but also our organizations, North Carolina, of course, and the society. So David, I thank you personally and on behalf of Duke for your great support and for giving us the opportunity to succeed. Thank you very much. And I know Tom Ross shares my excitement, so it's my great pleasure to introduce the president of UNC System, Dr. Tom Ross.
Thank you, Victor. Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be with you and to have the opportunity to be with Mr. Murdoch and so many other supporters of the North Carolina Research Campus for this wonderful announcement. On behalf of the entire University of North Carolina system, I want to thank Mr. Murdock for his tremendous personal investment in the North Carolina Research Campus. This is an investment that, as all of you know, started many years ago. When you visit that place, you can see on the ground the reality of the investment he's made in the past. And we thank him for that, but we thank him for this new investment and his unwavering commitment to build a healthier and more prosperous future for the people of this state and beyond. The latest gift will, of course, provide a good deal of stability and ongoing financial support for the David H. Murdock Research Institute, and that commitment underscores the true depth of Mr. Murdock's commitment to the future of the Institute, the future of the campus, and again to the research that's taking place there. By extension, the money that he is investing will, I think, leverage the state's already significant investment and hopefully additional investment in the research campus to help provide the scientific resources critical to the groundbreaking research that's being conducted on the campus by faculty and students from participating UNC campuses, Duke University, and our community colleges, as well as other partnering organizations. The research campus has enabled some of the best minds from North Carolina's universities to work together with private businesses on serious issues related to health and nutrition, to tackle health challenges really too big for any of us to solve alone. The additional scientific resources made available through this gift will enable researchers and students from at least 7 UNC campuses to build on our great strengths in agriculture, health, medicine, biotechnology, and bioinformatics. Research is fundamental to UNC's 3-part mission. In addition to creating new knowledge, it helps provide hands-on experience that employers call for in our graduates. Research is also a significant and growing economic driver here in North Carolina, which I know Tony Almeida recognizes, and so does our governor. Our UNC faculty bring in more than $1.2 billion each year in external research grants and contracts, and more than half of those dollars are in health-related research. An increasing volume of our research related to health and nutrition is being conducted in Kannapolis at the North Carolina Research Campus. For example, UNC Chapel Hill's Nutrition Research Institute has already obtained more than $26 million in external funding from the National Institutes of Health, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, foundations, and industry. Researchers from NC State are exploring the use of herbal oils to kill dangerous pathogens such as Listeria and Salmonella in organically grown fruits and vegetables. Researchers from North Carolina A&T State University and North Carolina Central have identified ginger as a treatment for anemia commonly caused by chemotherapy and renal disease. NC State and UNC Charlotte are partnering with DHMRI, General Mills, and Dole to better understand the nutritional components in common plant-based foods. UNC Greensboro researchers have identified and evaluated bioactive compounds from food, plants, and traditional Chinese medicines for the treatment of a number of diseases. And Appalachian State University's Human Performance Laboratory at the campus is a leader in the area of nutrition and exercise immunology. While this research has the potential to improve human health and the quality of life, it also has a positive impact on our local and regional economies. Every $1 million spent on research directly or indirectly supports about 17 jobs. And that doesn't take into account the long-term economic impact of inventions, patents, and spin-off companies started by researchers. When you start with a big, bold, David Murdock-sized vision, And when education, government, and the private sector collaborate and partner to bring that vision to life, our entire state, our people, stand to benefit. It is that partnership and collaborative that gives the North Carolina Research Campus such enormous potential, not only to make scientific breakthroughs, but to improve human health. Because we all know that it's going to take the Mr. Murdoch brand of visionary thinking, the collaboration and innovation that makes it possible. It's going to take that kind of vision for North Carolina to compete and win in the global economy of today and tomorrow. This is truly a great day for the North Carolina Research Campus, for the David H. Murdoch Research Institute, for the state of North Carolina, and for the people that live here. I'm thrilled to be a part of it, and on behalf of the University of North Carolina, I express again my deep appreciation to Mr. Murdoch, not just for his investment today, but for his investment in this state that is in the hundreds of millions of dollars. We owe you a great deal, Mr. Murdoch. Thank you.
Thank you, President Ross. And now to officially accept Mr. Murdoch's gift on behalf of the David H. Murdoch Research Institute, please join me in welcoming Dr. Steve Lommel.
Thank you, Lynn. Well, I got to tell you, I'm just excited. I've been with the DHMRI and this entire campus since near its beginning in 2006, and I've shared Mr. Murdoch's vision. I've been a follower. He's been leading this vision, but I've shared it. And we've been having a number of great milestones, and we've been working and growing as an institute and as a science city, and this is another great achievement to allow us to go to the next step in fulfilling Mr. Murdoch's vision. So I'm just really excited about it. It's a great day for me. So now to my prepared remarks. Mr. Murdoch, I want to thank you for your passion for nutrition and human health, your philanthropy and capacity and vision to create the North Carolina Research Campus and the David H. Murdoch Research Institute as your perpetual tool to dramatically improve the lives of people in North Carolina and the world through improved diet and nutrition. So the mission of the David H. Murdoch Research Institute is to be the go-to provider of innovative research and technologies to academic, government, and industry scientists through advancements in human health and nutrition and agriculture. The DHMRI contributes to advancing human health, nutrition, and agricultural research by supporting the campus partners, which President Ross described so well, and by developing our own research portfolio that leverages the distinctive capabilities of our laboratories and the talents of our scientists. This announcement of this gift of operational support to the Institute guarantees that we will successfully fulfill this mission. As the DHMRI has matured since its inception in 2008, we have built unique scientific capacity in the areas of human metabolic diseases, including metabolic syndrome, diabetes, as well as in agricultural plant biology with a focus on nutritional components. It is in these areas that the DHMRI will initially put your gift to work and concentrate our research efforts. Once again, Mr. Murdoch, thank you for this truly transformational gift that will allow us to fulfill your vision of the DHMRI to improve the lives of all people through better diet and nutrition. So I just want to make a final shout out to the employees of the DHMRI. Some of you are in the audience and some of you are back in the lab still working, hopefully maybe hearing this. You guys are an excellent group of people, and my predecessors have assembled a very passionate and committed team. And I just want to take this opportunity as the interim president to thank the employees of the DHMRI for also sharing in our collective vision and moving this institute forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lommel. Well, I think you can hear the passion in each of these board members' voices as they talk about the mission of the David H. Murdock Research Institute. And so now I'd like to call on Dr. Rob Califf, who spends a lot of time working. He has a full-time job at Duke, and yet he finds time to serve as the Chief Executive Officer of the DHMRI. Rob.
Thanks, Lynn. Well, today is a great day for me, and I think more so probably for all the employees of DHMRI, who have been working hard for these 6 or 7 years with a mission that I think we all agree is noble and has been well described by all of my colleagues here. I want to join everyone in thanking David Murdock for what he's done for us, giving us this opportunity. And for me, this is really the launch of what I would call DHMRI 2.0. We've been working away, the foundation is laid, the Murdock study has 9,000 plus patients in it. We have a functional board that has tremendous people on it. I mean, what board in the country really has people like Tom Ross, Terry Magnuson, Jeff Ginsburg with his genomic creativity, Steve Leith, who's an agricultural expert and now is president of a university but chose to stay on the board. You may have noticed Andrew Conrad, for those of you who don't know it, he is running Google X, which he has a very difficult job of handing out money, $50 million per aliquot for people who think they can improve things by a log order or more in the work that they're in. And I really think Andrew's inspiration came from his intersection with David Murdock on the island of Lanai many years ago, and it's now going to pay off for Google and I think for all of us. But when you look at this board, and of course Steve Lommel, who I want to thank personally, you notice that he is the interim in his job. But now with the launching of DHMRI 2.0 and this amazing gift, the operational dollars that it will give us will be in a very heated search for the best talent that we can find for the new director, the new person to take Steve's place so we can go back to his academic job. We thought for a long time when this was initially started about what this institute could do. We're still living in a world which is bound up with tremendous issues in nutrition, where chronic diseases are rampant, where there's great concern about how to get the best healthcare products and the best nutrition to the right people at the right time. The good news for us as an institute is that no one has solved the problem in the 7 years that we've been in business, so the opportunity is still there, and I can't imagine a better group of people to do it with, or a better opportunity than to have $50 million in operating capital. And Mr. Murdock, we all took a pledge when we were discussing this a few months ago that if we had this operating capital, we had every assurance that first, we'd be able to work with industries of all types to raise more money. Secondly, we now have a basis for philanthropy, to go out and get other people to give money to this great cause. And third, frankly, as good as we think we are at working together, I think the universities can all pitch in much more than they already have to date. And we've had some very good discussions on the board. I mean, if it doesn't tell you something, the fact the president of the UNC system comes over to the Washington Duke to talk is a major statement about how committed the UNC system is to this. And we feel it working with Tom and with Terry and with Steve, that these are real colleagues from the Duke perspective, where the institution you're from is not the critical issue, it's the mission that really matters. Lastly, I just want to thank Lynn. I think a lot of you are aware of the amazing amount of effort that Lynn has put into this whole enterprise. It's also some note that she's a UNC student, but her son is a Duke undergraduate, and so we have a lot in common through Lynn and a lot to work on together. But even in the toughest of times for the Institute, Lynn has been there and always willing to back it up. Many late-night phone calls with Andrew Conrad to think of creative ways to make things happen, and I think we've all felt that on the part of the board. So, Lynn, thanks for all that you've done. So with that, I think, are we going to take questions? We're going to let the man talk. You would like to do that? That's great. Well, let me then, this is a real honor to introduce David Murdock, and I've had so much fun talking about him with people all over the world when they say, how do you do this? Molecular epidemiology, and what is this institute? I say, well, this is a man who had not much formal education, but as Andrew Conrad said, he really believes that knowledge is the key to the future. And he's given us the opportunity to gain more knowledge, and we really appreciate it. I don't think much more needs to be said than that he's driven by this big vision, and we really look forward to hearing what you have to say about it. Welcome.
I find myself in a most unusual position today. I think this is the first time in my life I've ever announced anything that I was doing monetarily. I have for most of my life been reasonably successful, and I have for a long time thought that I'd like to do a little something to pay back to the country that made it possible for me. I am very much a free enterpriser that believes that we should all look after each other, all as friends, all as those, as well as those that need help and do not have the opportunity to do certain things that life has given me the opportunity to do. I have been associated for many years with scientific research. I've worked many, many years with Mayo Clinic and did a major book on nutrition many years ago that I wrote half of, and Mayo Clinic wrote the other half. I think I'm the only non-scientist that ever worked with a major institution and wrote a book that had both of our names on it at the same time. So I have spent many years thinking about what were the things that I could do because I had been reasonably successful and a little bit more so than maybe other people that needed help. So I have been interested. My wife died of cancer, and I have had many things in my life that was of health problems in my family. I have had a home in North Carolina that I live in quite frequently for 30 years, so I'm not a stranger to the state. I thought many times when, as many people did, when the textile industry, which at one point in time I was a part of, dissolved and the land was there, a large piece of ground, not too far from my home. And I thought, what could I do with that property that would be good? It was, the company had gone bankrupt and the property was up for sale. So I bought it, I believe, in '05. And as time went by, I thought, what could I do with the property that would be beneficial to, my first thought was the people that lived in Kannapolis because they'd all lost their jobs. And that was my first thought, was what could I do there to build? As time went by and the weeks and the land was available, I went to New York and it was up for auction, so I decided I would buy it, and I bought it, and that was the beginning of what has been going on for some period of time. I believe that was in '05. Lynn was with me when I made the bid in the city of New York. And then I thought, what could I do with this property that would be beneficial? First, my thought was to the people of Kannapolis and North Carolina, obviously. And we are doing the study in collaboration at the present time with Duke University, and have created what is commonly called the Murdoch Study. And it has been astoundingly successful, and I'm very proud that I have been a part of it. And we have made studies, I don't know if they want it announced or not, but in more than 10,000 people. And I have worked very closely with them on that and have constantly been the financial support for that. And then when I decided that I would build the Core Lab, which, how many people here have seen the Core Lab? Well, I'm thankful. I know I'm speaking to people that are part of my same dream. The Core Lab became a dream of mine. I'm not a scientist. In fact, I only have an 8th grade education. And the highest grade I ever got in school was the D-. That's true. And they finally said, you ought to get out of here, Murdoch. You're not smart enough to be with all of these young students. And so I left, and I spent my time greasing cars, changing tires. When I was 14, I started working. I had no parental supervision and no opportunity for success. I'm dyslexic, if anyone has ever been told that anyone that's dyslexic is not very smart. I decided that I didn't want to stay stupid, but then I was into the Army, and I came out of the Army, and I started to build a business. I didn't know I was going to build it. But as time went by, I built a little company and a bigger one, and I now have many dozen companies scattered around the world. I only tell you this because it may seem awful strange that I would want to become involved in scientific research. But since I had always been put down as being stupid, I thought I'd try to do something smart, and if I associated with the kind of people at the head table here, I might gain a little bit of knowledge. I then thought of doing something scientifically, and Dr. Conrad, who you saw, was a good friend of mine, and I had supported him when he was in college and had known him for many years, and I talked about the things to do. And I decided to build the Core Lab that exists there now, and went on working with the state of North Carolina and brought many other campuses from the University of North Carolina, and working with the government of North Carolina. As time went by, my ambitions grew, and fortunately for me, my finances grew along with it. An idea without the ability to follow through with it is not a very strong idea, but we did go through the economy, and it was bad, and it slowed me down, but it didn't stop my love for North Carolina, and particularly my love for scientific research. We are doing much scientific research, and we are working with, I could almost say, all of the universities in North Carolina. We have 8 of them on the campus. And I'm very proud of the things that we have been able to accomplish, but I think it is very, very small compared to what I believe we will accomplish. And I believe the universities that I am working with, that you all know and are all a part of, has great opportunity to make major discoveries, add to ideas, and create a scientific center unrivaled in the world. And I'm very proud to say I would like to be a part of that. and have somewhat of the financial ability to help that happen. I know it may seem strange that someone with an 8th grade education, now I do have quite a few doctorate degrees, but they're all honorary. So I find that associating with the kind of brains at the head table and the kind of brains in the audience kind of make up for my lack of brains, because I can always lean on them, and they have all the knowledge that I don't have, and so I agglomerate all of us together for the good of mankind. I think that the problems that we have, you can see it every day around with people overweight, with people that are sick. I believe that the reason for that is lack of knowledge. The only power there is in the world is the knowledge of the power of knowledge. And I spend a lot of time trying to keep up with the scientists that I work with all of the time. And I'm proud to say that I think we are making a lot of progress in all of the universities in North Carolina, and I have enjoyed working with Duke University and the Murdoch study, and I think we will make great strides there. And I think that we are at a point in time there now where we can make many great studies that will come out along the way. In the universities that we have on the campus, we are working with all of them. I have been meeting with some of them and talking about the things that we might do now, because we do have the power of many great brains bringing together. And that's the thing that I have felt that I could help do, and so I decided that I would put some more money behind many millions that I have already put into building the core lab and the facilities that we have, and buying scientific equipment from around the world that did not exist, and some of it still does not exist anywhere except in our core lab. In order to keep all of the scientific research going, I thought, I constantly hear, oh, we need money, we need money, we need money. No matter where I go, I keep hearing that, and I'll hear it even more after the press says that I am now going to give $50 million more to what I have already been spending money on. And I'm sure there'll have to be some money following that. And it's very easy to spend money in scientific research, but I want to see the results. And sometimes I have felt the results were too slow in coming, so I'm pushing. Let's make some major discoveries. I think we have some on the papers that aren't too far from being major discoveries. So I hope that the funds that I am adding to what other people have put into all of the different activities that all of the universities throughout the state are doing, and we're thrilled to work with them. And I have traveled to many of the universities just to get a little idea of what they are doing. And I intend to continue to spend time. Now, I'm a little bit older than most of the people in this room, but I'll bet I am healthier than most of you, because I've never been as sick a day in my life in 30 years. And it isn't necessary to be sick. Now, there are genetic diseases that we cannot avoid, but I believe that we can avoid most of them if we have the knowledge of how to eat and what to eat. I eat fruits, vegetables, and only anything that comes from the sea, fish and others. So I think that we have an opportunity with the group of scientists that we're working with, and I certainly can't take the credit for the many things that are being done, and I have no intent to try. So I have enjoyed working with all of the state universities, with Duke University and other universities that exist within North Carolina. And every time they say I want some money in some other state, I sort of shrink back and say we only have money for North Carolina. So I thank all of you for coming. I did not intend to talk about it. I've not talked about the money that I've given before. This is the first time in my life I've ever made a public announcement of the funds that I have given. I've read about a lot of people that make the front page always with what they give. I had no desire for that. I am thrilled to be able to work with the group that's in this room and the many other groups that we are working with, that I will have an opportunity at some point to touch a little part of their life, that I have helped scientific research bring forth for all of us. And I'm particularly proud of working in the state of North Carolina. And as I said, I have had a home here for 30 years. Thank all of you for being here.
Mr. Murdock, thank you. On behalf of everyone here today, we thank you for your vision and for your leadership, and especially today for your generosity.